today I'm back here for another speed build, and today I'm actually going to be doing another room build, and this one is going to be a family kitchen. So I did change the name of this a little bit. I was kind of going for something more of like a colourful kitchen or a cluttered kitchen or something like that, because one thing that I've seen a lot of people doing recently is using a lot of those debug items and things like that in their builds a lot more recently. So I thought it'd be nice to try that out, since it's always something that I've kind of thought I'll do in the builds, and then it's just something I can never end up doing because of that really long cheat we have to type in as well for that ignore entitlement game unlock, whatever it is. And yeah, so I actually got a cheat, well, not a cheat, a mod for cheats. It's basically like a shortcut thing. So when you want to type in that unlock thingy, you just go into Control-Shift-C and you press U, and it literally just does that all. You just press D for debug, and you know, just all that sort of things. It's just really useful for kind of shortening down those longer cheats. So I recommend you go and get it. I can't remember where it's from. If I find the link and I remember to do it, then I'll put it in the description. But it's just from Mod The Sims, and so I'm really happy how this turned out. I have done a parenthood kitchen before, but I really want to do something more family related again, and I felt like parenthood and that sort of theme goes really well together, so that's what I'm doing in today's build. And another thing you may notice about this is that the shape of it is it's a lot more simple than my other room builds, because, you know, for room builds normally I think that it's kind of a little bit simplistic in terms of a speed build video, so I try to do all these funky shapes in the room and stuff just to make it look a little bit more interesting to watch. But when I come to think of it, if you're going to go ahead and download this room to put into your house, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to try and put that in for most people, if I'm doing loads of different shapes on the walls. So for this room build I try to keep that a little bit more simplistic. So it's basically just a square with those little two bits going out the sides there on one bit of the room. So it's a little bit more simplistic, and but I didn't want it to be a square. So it's a lot more simplistic. I think it'll be a lot easier for you to put into your game, and it is up on the gallery now, so make sure you head over there. My origin ID is Real Thomas TV1 if you'd like to go ahead and download this. And yes, so I'm just going in now, putting in some decorations and things. I did the basic, you know, counters and things like that. Double ovens like normal, and because I wanted it to be symmetrical. And another thing I actually use in this build, as you can see there, the new sink that we got with it. So it's basically a sunken in sink to the counter, and that's a really nice idea that I love, and I went ahead and used it today because I actually haven't used it in a speed build yet, and since, you know, it fits with the parenthood counters, I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and do that. So I did do that in today's video, and of course I used the new fridge from the pack as well, which I really like. It just fits nicely in with those counters, and there's no gap in between them, which is something that bothers a lot of simmers, I think. So I'm really glad that that's been fixed for this. Well, it's not been fixed, but for this fridge in particular, it doesn't do that. So another thing I did there, I wasn't really too sure what I was going to do with those, you know, those little bits that come out the side there next to the door. I didn't want it to be a whole big rectangle or square, whatever, so I wasn't really too sure what to put in there. So I thought that since it's kind of like a family kitchen, you know, there's going to be lots of seating in there, so I went ahead and put a little sofa in there as well, maybe if you're just waiting for your food to be prepared or something. And I put a little side table there as well. I put lots of clutter, like I said, and you'll see that in just a minute when I work on it. But I did cut a lot of it out of the video because it was a little bit repetitive and a little bit tedious, and it did add on so much extra time for me doing this room build, but I think it was worth it in the end. So I'm going in now, putting in the paintings and stuff. I wanted the paintings to kind of, you know, resemble of something that the kids made, which is actually something that we got with the Parenthood game pack, is some of those sort of styles. Even with some of the decorations, like on the bread bin, there's actually some colour swatches, as you can see there from what I put down. It's like a kid like drew on it, and also the plate as well. I put that above that wine rack. The wine rack, I suppose it doesn't really, maybe for a kids themed kitchen, I mean, not a kids, you know what I mean, kind of like kid orientated in a way, family, maybe having a wine rack there isn't, you know, very appropriate, but I suppose the parents with lots of kids busy, I think you need some wine. So I went ahead and did that, and you'll see me put that plate on top of that in just a second, because the counter space, it is much more smaller in today's build, as you can see. I normally have lots of counter space, but I kind of like that in a way, kind of keep it more condensed instead of having everything spread out and some bits not as decorated as others. And yeah, so as you can see here, I was having a little bit of trouble trying to get those cooking books on top of the microwave there. For some reason, it just didn't want to work, and I just kind of gave up on it, so I just left it. And yes, I'm just going in with some final decorations here. I'm going to leave you with some screenshots. Let me know in the comment section down below about what you thought of this build, and if you have any other suggestions for future speed builds in the future, or just videos in general. So make sure you head over to the gallery to go ahead and download this for yourself. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1. Make sure to leave this video with a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!